This broadcast is sponsored by
BetterHelp. I've been in therapy since my 20s, and it's made a huge difference in my life. There were so many nights where I struggled mentally and emotionally, growing up being bullied, losing relationships. My life is still not perfect, but therapy has really helped me get to a better place. And that's why I believe everyone deserves access to it. We've all faced hardships. We've all had those days where it feels impossible to keep going. And that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, making professional help accessible and convenient. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire, and they'll match you with a licensed therapist who fits every one of your needs. From there, you can talk to them however you feel comfortable, through video call, through phone, or even chat.
BetterHelp accepts both HSA and FSA cards, making it even easier to prioritize your mental health. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people used their HSA or FSA benefits for therapy through BetterHelp. So be sure to use yours before they expire.
So I encourage you all to take that first step by going to betterhelp.com/justAlex. Take care of yourself mentally, and everything else will fall into place. So don't wait. Go to betterhelp.com/justAlex and start your journey today.
I think AEW finally did it. It's been a minute since I've come up here and praised an AEW pay-per-view. And I gotta say, Full Gear 2025 might have restored the feeling. Let's talk about it right here in Alyx's World. Hello all and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm your host, Alyx, just Alyx, and this is my AEW Full Gear 2025 review, reaction, recap. If you're ready, let's talk about it. By far, it's not even close, the best AEW pay-per-view of the year. Now, that's how you do it. They hit every single thing they should have hit. I'm sorry, Hangman Page was not an interesting world champion. He just wasn't.
What were your thoughts on SmackDown last night? I thought it was a solid show.
Let me get to SmackDown when we do the shout-outs, but for right now, let's focus on AEW because I don't want to take anything away from AEW right now. I've been one of the biggest critics of this company for the last few years. I have not been a fan of the direction, a lot of what they were deciding to do with the characters, the stories. I've just been crapping on it for the most part. Of course, there have been things that I loved, not everything I hated, but for the most part, AEW has not been doing it for me. It's been a far cry from the AEW that I fell in love with. The AEW that I said could compete with WWE on its best day. Now, was this show a return to form in terms of AEW is back, the feeling has been restored? I still think they have some way to go, but a lot of the decisions, a lot of the changes they made tonight give me a good feeling that they're on their way. It's all about maintaining their momentum. Can they do it? That's up to Tony Khan. But for the life of me, and this is coming from me, I thought AEW Full Gear 2025 was the best AEW show they've done all year. This was better than All In. This was better than Double or Nothing. This was better than Revolution. This was better than Wrestle Dream, you name it. This, to me, was the best AEW show they've done this year. And it's not even close. Now, was the show too long? Yes, the show was still played by the length. I agree that the show was just way too long. I'm doing this review at midnight. By the time you watch this, this is probably being shown to you. You're probably seeing this, I think this is Sunday, the day afterwards. Not a lot of people are up during this time, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But despite the show being way too long, what is that, 5 hours? Oh my God. 5 hours. And that does include the pre-show as well, too. Regardless of when you watch this show, that's still way too long. I thought overall, the matches delivered. A lot of the stories were on point. Lots of surprises, lots of returns. Swerve Strickland coming out at the end gave me a good feeling. I'm excited to see where that goes. New champions. Where do I start? So many new champs. Let's start with the first one. Congratulations to the inaugural national champion, Ricochet. Ricochet, ladies and gentlemen, finally won a belt. Ricochet has been one of the best parts of AEW since he got there. Let's just be real. But I've always kind of figured they were going to give him a championship, just didn't know which one. I just got worried. Since they're trying to push so many people, Kyle Fletcher, of course you have Konosuke Takeshita, and then Okada, there really wasn't much room for Ricochet to really shine. There really wasn't much for him to grab because all the big stars had already occupied those championships, right? So what Tony Khan did was the next best thing. He just created a new belt. He created a new championship just for Ricochet. And so now he's the first ever national champion, and I believe this means he is going to be defending that belt outside the company. So this championship will not be defended. Well, it will be defended on television, but for the most part, it will be defended outside the company at different promotions, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Maple Leaf Wrestling, you name it, CMLL, yada, yada, yada. So that's what Ricochet is going to do. I'm glad he won a championship. FTR. FTR had another FTR Classic. Well, let's just say an outstanding match. I won't call it an FTR Classic. But they are once again your AEW Tag Team Champs. We all know where this is going. We all see the vision. We all know that they're going to be fighting Cope and Christian when they return, I believe, probably sometime next year at Revolution. That's most likely when we'll get that rematch. We also have, if I'm not mistaken, a new TNT champ. Yes, we do. Mark Briscoe finally wins gold for Jay Briscoe. It's been a minute now. It's been a minute since he debuted in the company. And when did Jay Briscoe pass away? Was that 2023? Or was that 2022? I think it was 2023 when he passed away. Man, almost 3 years. Took him almost 3 years to finally win gold. Congratulations, Mark Briscoe. This was well-deserved. I feel good about Mark Briscoe being the TNT champ. We got the reunion of the Elite. The Young Bucks have turned babyface. The corporate Jacksons, whatever the fuck, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, they're done. The corporate elite, the EVP gimmick is done, thank God, because it sucked. They are back to their roots. The Elite is back together. I do believe this is Mercedes Moné's second title defense for the AEW Women's Championship. And don't worry, all you Mercedes Moné haters, you can relax. You can breathe because no, she did not win. She did not end up winning the AEW Women's title. Which is, it's one of those things where eventually she's going to win it. So I'm not worried about it. I just have to wonder, how long are they going to keep this up? Because the storyline is she can win literally every single championship possible. She can win every single AEW title, AEW Women's title, except the big one, the one that really matters. That's the story. And it doesn't matter who that champion is. It could be Toni Storm. It could be Kris Statlander. It could be insert female wrestler here. The gimmick is she can't win the big one. And so I think what they're going to do is they're going to have her probably drop all the belts she has now before she ends up winning the big one. Now, personally, I would just give her the top belt and then have her go on a losing streak. That just makes the most sense. But I can see them potentially having her lose all the belts that she has, go babyface, and then win the top title. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. I do suspect she will indeed become women's champ, but it wasn't tonight. So you can unclutch your butt cheeks. Mercedes Moné is not champion yet. She will be champion soon. Main event was the final title change. Samoa Joe is your new excuse me. Hiccups. 1 second. Let me try that again. He is your two-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion. The reign of Hangman Page has come to an end, and thank God. I'm sorry, Hangman Page was not an interesting champion. Hangman Page was not doing it for anybody. He wasn't doing it for me. He wasn't doing it for you. He was not creating interesting television. He just wasn't. Samoa Joe is a much more compelling character, a much more compelling champion. And with the support of the Ops and a heel, Hook has gone heel and joined Samoa Joe. I have a feeling that things are about to get a lot more interesting. Because now that Swerve Strickland, that's right, whose house? Swerve's house is back. He looks good. He looks swole. Shout out to Swole herself. But no, like, Swerve looks really good. And it's looking like they're setting up a fatal four-way. Now, some of you just went, wait, fatal four-way? I only saw 3 people. You know where this is going. I have a feeling that Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman will be cashing in his contract when he comes back. The main event at World's End will be a fatal four-way. Swerve, Hangman, Joe, MJF. And I can see MJF winning his championship. Because Samoa Joe took the title away from MJF in 2023. And so now it's going to be MJF's turn to take the title away from Joe. Same event. So, it's looking good. I'm very excited to see where things go, how things play out, because it's going to be really hard to mess up this momentum. Because you still got the women's tag team titles coming. That fatal four-way was the weakest part of the show. That felt like a dynamite match. I'm going to be honest with you. It felt like a dynamite match. It didn't need to be on the show. It just didn't. But it is what it is. And there were a couple of matches that started to bleed together. No pun intended. The no-holds-barred match between Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly, while great, I kind of feel like it wasn't needed, right? Because you still had these other bloody hardcore matches. The TNT, no DQ match, and then the main event especially. Oh my goodness. So much blood. Not going to complain about it, but it is one of those things where I'm like, did you have to put those 2 matches on the same card? I do believe the match that Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly had was the match that Darby Allin and Jon Moxley wanted to have. They wanted to have that match at Wrestle Dream, but they couldn't. So, yeah, I thought this was easily the best AEW pay-per-view of 2025. It felt like a return to form. But what matters is how you carry this. What goes on after the event? What are the stories looking like going into 2026? Going into the Continental Classic? Going into the next pay-per-view, which is World's End? Because I could sit here all day and praise AEW for having great pay-per-views. I've been doing that for the last 2-3 years now. I feel like this past year, the quality has dipped. Quite honestly, since last year's Full Gear, which was garbage. But for the most part, AEW has been killing it with pay-per-views. The problem is the weekly shows. The problem has always been the weekly shows. And I'm hoping that they can take this show and transfer it into weekly television that I can be invested in and keep watching. So my question to you is AEW Full Gear your show of the year? If you feel like there was a better AEW pay-per-view, a better AEW show, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat. But let's go ahead and move things along. It's past midnight. Y'all, I'm tired. I don't want to keep you here any longer than I have to. I do appreciate those who decide to stay up to watch me review the show past midnight. I am grateful for that. So let's not waste any time. If this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, your edit help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing, whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review, past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to, give thanks. Hit that super thanks. If you would like to donate after the fact, you can. Also, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, just Alyx Central. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on Spotify. Give me a follow on Cameo. Give me a follow on Threads. Follow us on Discord. Follow me on Blue Sky, where the skies are clearer. And give me a follow on TikTok. For I am the tickest of the talkest. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo. And yes, Super Chats are officially on you. Can donate at any point in time during the broadcast. To get your thoughts played live on the air, email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries, just to say hi. And please get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Tees and Teespring. Are you a Just Alex guy? Then join the club. Get you an I'm a Just Alex guy t-shirt. Hot the press. Also get you an old school Deluxe Man t-shirt. Get your new school Alex's World t-shirt and many more t-shirt designs coming your way. So stay tuned. Join the cause. Expand the brand today right here in Alex's World. When you're in my world. Thank you all so much for joining me past midnight for this review of AEW Full Gear. Please show your love to the Mod Squad. Ultra! Shine Night Sapphire Star Heart, Elias Ademi, New Japan Pro Wrestling Girl, Khalil does everything. Highway Dylan, Dylan Danger, Teflon Don, the Mod Father, Zeno, Enigma, Big MGM, and Mrs. Firestar Heart, Angel, Hollenbeck. They all help keep this a safe space for wrestling fans like you and like us. Please be sure you like the video. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will be given to be recommended here on YouTube. So help boost that algorithm by hitting that like button. And be sure you leave a comment. If you're in the live chat, be sure you're commenting. Give me your scores. Give me your grades. Talk about your favorite matches. Challenge each other on, I don't know, debate. Appreciate. So apparently I just heard that the algorithm pushes out more lives when the live chat is popping. So just start popping off. Give me your thoughts. Talk about the return of Swerve Strickland. Talk about the main event. Talk about your favorite match. Talk about things you didn't like. Talk about things you liked. But let's get that live chat popping. Speaking of popping, I think I saw a couple of super chats earlier. I did.
Maybe there was too much blood thinking face, but it's AEW.
SD Kai, former international champ, SD Kai, just made a statement that everyone just went, no duh. AEW loves their blood. There's never too much blood with AEW. I'd rather too much blood than no blood. How about that?
So when is MJF combining back?
Coming back. They say he's coming back very soon, as in the next month or so. So we'll definitely see how things pop off when it comes to that. And for the record, no, ladies and gentlemen, the international title is not on the line tonight. It will be defended every Wednesday, unless the champ shows up and decides he wants to defend it at next week's pay-per-view, which is Survivor Series. All right, let me give a shout out to the people. The first person I see up here is Luis Gamer. Luis Gamer 6394. 6394, good to have you here. He says it was an eventful show. Who bought the show, by the way? I did, but I want to know if you did. Philip French, 89. Philly says the show was okay. It had its ups and downs, but all in all, pretty decent. Hey, I'll take it. That makes it sound like it was actually professional. Professional wrestling, what? Let's see here. Again, shout out to SD Kai, Trey Lucado. I also see Danny Barrel Sports highlights. Scroll down a little bit more. Brendan, is that Brendan Watson? I think that's your name, Brendan Watson.
How about John Moxley piercing Kyle O'Reilly's nipple?
Oh, don't remind me. That was fucking wild. That was wild. Moxley is just sadistic, man. He be coming up with the most sadistic ways to torture people, but that's why people love him. When the champ shows up, you show him respect, ladies and gentlemen. Your World Super Chat champ. When he walks into the building, you the twos, and he's the one, the young Wiccan, the chosen one, Ronwell Nagales. He says, Alyx, I know I have my financial situation, but if people were to donate small money, then I should be able to donate a little bit to maintain my title. I'm only dropping my title if big donations come. So Ronwell is saying if you want his belt, you better come big, and you better come big in them pockets. Damn. Y'all gonna come big in the pockets? Y'all about to come big with it? Let me see here. Oh, SmackDown. Yeah, I thought SmackDown was good. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to Survivor Series right now. And I kind of felt like whatever I needed to say, I was going to save it for the preview and prediction show, which is coming this upcoming week. Not too sure if I want to get A and B combos and the other two involved yet, but it might just be me. If they're available, I might bring them in. We'll play it by ear. Let's see here. Game Shock. Who else is here? Joe Davidian. PYXY. Good to have you here. I believe that's JJ. Who let the dogs out? Ooh, JJ Bulldog. Good to have you here. Let's see here. Is that Mike Pringle? Mr. Mike Pringle. He says either Pac or Marina Spur is going to be the new leader of the Death Riders. They should have four-way tag and the no holds bar on the Go Home show. Oh, they should have had the four-way tag and the no holds bar match on the Go Home show. Absolutely. Because it just made the show feel a lot longer than it needed to be. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I heard Penta and Rey Fenix reunited in Triple tonight as the Lucha Bros again.
Wow. Is that true? Wow. Triple A? Nice. It was going to happen eventually. Yes, Ron, well, I did see your Jesse Ventura cameo. Congratulations. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad he talked to you, too. Let's see here. I think that's everybody. Game Shock, Joe Shipley. Again, like, I'm recording this past midnight, so I wasn't expecting a big crowd. But we here. Let's go ahead and move things along here. Give me your scores. Give me your grades. If you're watching after the fact, what was the match of the night for you? But let's go ahead and move things along to this review here. So here's my review of AEW Full Gear 2025. They were live in Newark, New Jersey, and they did a pretty good number. I saw they sold over 10,000. Over 10,000 in New Jersey. I think it's like 10,500-ish. Big crowd. They were kind of quiet throughout the show because it was too damn long, almost 5 hours. They're going to be quiet. They were definitely quiet for Kris Statlander and Mercedes Moné. I felt bad for them. But what can you do? What can you do with that? But still, pretty awesome crowd. When they opened the pay-per-view, they did this thing where they had a pre-show match, whatever they call it, tailgate match, that bled into the pay-per-view. So the first match we saw was a six-man tag or a trios championship. Mystico, Mascara Dorada and Neon taking on Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and Konosuke Takeshita. Match was good. You had some arguments between Okada and Takeshita. That's all it was. Just building heat for Takeshita and Okada. One of the best built rivalries, best built feuds they've done probably ever. And I love that Okada did not show up until the pay-per-view started. Okada was like, I ain't wrestling on no fucking pre-show. The fuck you think this is? I'll wrestle when I'm getting paid to wrestle, which is during the pay-per-view, where you pay $50. And so the match happened with just Konosuke Takeshita and Hechicero taking on Mystico, Dorada, and Neon 2-on-3. And then Okada showed up at the end. But when he showed up, he was accidentally hitting Takeshita. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to clothesline you. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to beat you up. So guess who lost? The Don Callis family. And the Luchadors retained. I don't know how I feel about that. How y'all feel about them having a pre-show match bleed into the show? I'm not too sure I like that. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Just saying. So, we go on from that to the actual first match, the opener, Darby Allin versus Pac. Darby Allin had some burn marks on his all over his body, on his arms, on his back, on his torso and shit. Amazing match, great psychology. Started off slow, then built up. These two are just masters at the craft. They made each other look really, really good. My issue with the match is this. Match was amazing. Did anyone else feel like that ending fell flat? That ending was kind of just, really? He just wins with a shot to the head with a bat? So Pac just uses the bat to beat Darby Allin? Really? Okay. Just felt anticlimactic. I'm sorry, it just felt anticlimactic. It did. I don't know how y'all felt about it. Pac wins. Nothing comes from it. I feel like we're going to get back to Darby Allin and Jon Moxley in the future, and I'm expecting that match to be a lot more violent. The weakest match on the card, by far, was that fatal four-way, or the four-way women's tag match. Base of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin versus the Timeless Love Bombs versus Maria Shafir and Megan Bayne. They couldn't come up with a tag team name, but the other ones were just like these elaborate names. And I kind of like them, but it does feel kind of ridiculous. Yeah, this was a Dynamite match. I'm sorry, it was a Dynamite match on a pay-per-view. This did not need to be here. The Timeless Love Bombs win the match, and they get to choose the stipulations for their future matches. Okay. Still, I did not care. I love all the women in here. I loved all tag teams. I just didn't care about this match in particular. But women's tag team division is alive and well, so that's where we are. Timeless Toni Storm, and of course, Mina Shirakawa winning for their team. We go on to one of the best matches of the entire night. FTR continued to show why they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. FTR versus Brodido, the best Brodido match that I've seen so far. This was easily one of the best tag matches all year. This was awesome. Fantastic. Started off slow, then picked up. Great psychology. FTR really brought it. There was a spot during the match. I forgot when it happened, but FTR used the tag belts, and then they got a nice near fall off of that. Because I actually thought they were gonna get the win with that title shot, the shot to the face. But Brodido kicked out. Bandito kicked out. But they fought until a Shatter Machine put them away. And FTR become your new 3-time AEW Tag Team Champs. Brodido did a great job with that reign. They had a great reign. But unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, it had to come to an end. I don't know what happened to Buddy Matthews. I had a feeling that eventually this was going to have to end for Brody King to get back with Buddy Matthews. Maybe we'll reunite them and then have them be the tag team champs in the near future. Is Buddy Matthews coming back? Is he going to WWE? Who knows? But all I know is whenever they do put Brody King and Buddy Matthews back together, they better run back the Hounds of Hell versus FTR. So, congrats to FTR. You're going to drop those belts to Cope and Christian. Now, I do suspect that they'll drop them a lot later than usual, because a lot of people are, and me too, we're suspecting that they'll drop them at the next pay-per-view. I don't see that happening. I see them probably dropping it at Double or Nothing, if not all the way to All In. Like, really stretch it. You know what I mean? Like, FTR should have a reign. But those matches between FTR and Cope and Christian are going to be crazy. Monumental. What was also a fantastic match, a Casino Gauntlet match, which was AEW's version of the Royal Rumble, but this time with a pinfall. To crown the first ever AEW National Champion, lots of people showed up, including not Swerve, that's later, that's a lot later. Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, Ricochet, oh my goodness, the Death Riders, Roderick Strong. I would have to get the list. I'm too lazy to get it. But a lot of people that didn't have matches basically were thrown in this match. Orange Cassidy. I'm trying to think of others, quite honestly. Just usual people that usually show up at Dynamite, but, didn't have a match scheduled. Ricochet was the star of the show. He was the star of the entire match. He was bumping, he was selling, he was taking it from everybody. But in the end, it was Ricochet who became your new AEW, well, not just new, but the inaugural AEW National Champion. Tony Khan had to create a belt, a new championship for Ricochet to have. So Ricochet, I don't want to hear any complaints about you saying you're not special. Tony Khan created a belt just for you to have. So don't fuck it up, sir. Someone asked, where's Keith Lee? I have no idea. I'm at the point where I think Tony Khan might be waiting for his contract to expire, because why is he not on television? I don't get it. Y'all help me with that one, because I can't put 2 and 2 together. I don't get it myself. Maybe y'all can help me. Maybe y'all. I know he's out. I know he's out on injury, but I'm just like, when is he coming back? Like, back. Anyways, let's move on. So, this next match, oh my goodness. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. No holds barred. Moxley brought the fork with him. As soon as I saw the fork, I said, here we go. This man took a fork and he literally jabbed it into Kyle O'Reilly's nipple. He stabbed a fork into Kyle O'Reilly's nipple. Okay. He's sadistic. I get it. Besides stabbing him everywhere else, there was a lot of blood. There was one spot where Kyle had the fork and he literally just jab to Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, after being jabbed, like stabbed with the fork, sits up. You see the opening in his skull literally pour out blood. I said, damn, y'all. That's just crazy. But Kyle O'Reilly did get his moment. So we know the storyline here, right? Jon Moxley, for some reason, Jon Moxley is allergic to submissions. He's allergic to submissions. Every time you hook in a submission, he's like, oh, God, I'm going to tap out. Oh, no. This is kryptonite. And, yeah, he submitted clean to Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly made Jon Moxley tap out. Again. Crazy. I know. So, I don't know where this is going. I'm suspecting that Jon Moxley is about to be ousted from the Death Riders, and the Death Riders is about to be broken up. Please, God, say yes. Please drop the Death Riders. Please get rid of them. Please get rid of them. But yeah, this was bloody. Hardcore. If you're a fan of that, you would have loved this match. I loved it because I love hardcore matches. The thing is, though, The next match was also bloody and violent and hardcore. No DQ, TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher defends his belt against Mark Briscoe. Thumbtacks, ladders, freaking steel chairs, tables, barbed wire tables. The thing is, I don't mind them having hardcore matches. They should have structured this out a bit better. I would have put a match between Jon Moxley and Kyle Fletcher. Because the thing is, when you bleed those two matches together, they start to feel like the same match, and it's hard for them to stand out. Both were great. Both were bloody. I just feel like they didn't stand out as much because they were like next to each other, back to back. Doesn't matter though, because one of the biggest moments of the entire night, Mark Briscoe hits the J Driller. After throwing Kyle Fletcher through barbed wire on a freaking wooden table. I don't know why it's hard for me to say that. A barbed wire wooden table. Gave him the razor's edge. He hits the J Driller. Gives respect to Jay Briscoe. And pins him 1, 2, 3. Finally, Mark Briscoe wins his first AEW gold. Your new AEW TNT champ. Congratulations. Good for him. I hope he holds it for a while. I really do. I'm glad he won it. They go backstage. They announce that both Takeshita, that's Konosuke Takeshita, and Kyle Fletcher will be in the Continental Classic, going after Okada's belt. Yes. So we already know what the main event's going to be. It's going to be Okada and Takeshita in the main event. Sounds good to me. Can't wait for that match. We're finally going to get that match. A match of your candidate coming your way. All right, these next two I'm going to speed run through. The $1 Million Trios match, Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. Great match. Kenny Omega was selling a leg injury. I think he's actually working through some pain, which is why he didn't work as much. But regardless, yes, Kenny Omega did, in fact, work very light in this match. But he looked great while working. So it was good to have him. Good to see him. He ended up pinning, if I'm not mistaken. No, he ended up losing. He ended up losing the match. I want to get this right. Yes, Kenny Omega did not pin anybody, but he had a great performance for the most part. There was some shenanigans from the Don Callis family, which allowed the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander to get the victory. The EVP BTE trigger gives the Young Bucks the win. The heels win, and then the Don Callis family come out. The Young Bucks and Josh Alexander are $1 million bucks richer, but then the Young Bucks are starting to regret their decision. They're starting to look in the ring. Oh my God, that's our friend. Oh no, that's my brother. That's our brother. Carry on, my wayward sons. There's something about that song that just really gets me. Don't you cry no more. Anyways, the Young Bucks see the beating. They have a change of heart. They run to the ring, and they attack the Don Callis family. They help up Jurassic Express. They help up Kenny Omega, and then they embrace. There it is. The Elite is back together. The Elite. The Elite. Guess what this means? This means EVP, corporate Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, that's done. That's done. That storyline that went on way too long, it really hurt the ratings. No one cared about it. It's over with. The Young Bucks go back to being the Young Bucks, and they're with Kenny Omega again. I love it. This was great. I thought for the most part, this is just me, that run with the corporate Bucks was one of the worst runs that AEW's done. I feel like when it's all said and done, that's going to be looked at as one of the darker periods of AEW. It just wasn't good. That being said, and this is just how I feel about it, The Elite coming back together, I'm okay with it. I just hope they're able to do something with that. And I hope they didn't just do it just to do it. So, the Young Bucks and Kenny are back together. Let's see what happens with the Don Callis family. Kris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. Yeah, the crowd died for this match. The crowd died for this match. They did not have any energy for it. They were not into it. They went a long time. A long time. And when it was all said and done, despite some near falls, Kris Statlander retained. So the storyline here is that Mercedes Moné is unable to win the big one. She's unable to win the big one, and most likely won't win the big one until she loses all the other belts. I do believe AEW should pull the trigger on the next match. Whoever she fights for the AEW Women's title the next time is on the line, she needs to win. Whether she has the belts or not, she needs to win that belt. I'm serious. I think it's time we consider giving that belt to Mercedes. Kris Statlander is fine. I'm happy she got the win, finally. She finally beat Mercedes here. But still, like, I just want her to win all the belts. I just want her to have the belts to see people squirm, I want to see people lose their minds and say, I quit watching AEW because Mercedes Moné won all the belts. That's what I want. That's what I want. Main event, a bloody, I was going to say Hell in a Cell, steel cage match between, could have been Hell in a Cell, Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe. I don't think I like Hangman. I don't think I like Hangman's new theme. I don't think I like it. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I don't think I like it. So Hangman Page comes out with a new theme. Within the first 5 minutes, Samoa Joe is busted open. Blood is just gushing out of his head. It was a deep cut, too. It was nasty. So, Joe's busted open. Hangman Page is busted open. This match was, I'll tell you what, this was much better than their Wrestle Dream match. But I feel like for the most part, it's probably not going to get any better than this. This is probably the best match these two are going to have because of the shenanigans. You had Shibata go out there with the belt. You had them open up the cage door, allowing Hangman Page to hit the buckshot lariat, but the referee was knocked out. And then Hook gets in the ring. You're thinking he's going to help Hangman Page, but nope. Hook turns on Hangman Page. You see Hook stand up with the belt, and you're like, oh, he's going to use it. Then he smiles. Boom. Hits Hangman Page with it. Helps Samoa Joe beat him with the Muscle Buster. And then Samoa Joe is your two-tie AEW World Champ. This big-ass group of people wearing op shirts come out, and they start beating up Hangman Page. The lights go out. You see, you know who you see. Prince Nana. Prince Nana shows up. And then you hear, whose house? And then Swerve gets a new theme. Swerve got a new theme. Came out to it looking swole. How you doing, Swole? He looked really, really jacked up. And he got to the ring. All those security guards looked like ants compared to Swerve. They looked like ants. I'm serious. They looked small and miniature. And he just whips all their asses. He runs through them all like a goddamn beast. And then it was all said and done. Joe leaves the ring with the belt, but it's Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland standing inside the ring, side by side. And I said to myself, this should have been the tag team. This should have been the tag team at All In. But we're getting it now. We're getting it now. So that's how the show ends. The return of Swerve Strickland. I loved it. I still believe this is their best. For me, this is their best pay-per-view all year. If you disagree, let me know. But this show was awesome. This was a return to form. Lots of changes that need to happen. I hope they continue the momentum going into this Wednesday. And you will hear me talk about it if it doesn't happen. So what y'all think? Is this the best pay-per-view from AEW this year? Let me know in the comments. Live chat, you have the floor. You had the floor. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much for joining me. Because I was worried. I was so worried about doing this late. And I'm just like, no one has time to watch this at 12 a.m., 1 p.m. and 12 a.m. and 1 a.m., not 1 p.m. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to be up that late and go that late. 1 a.m., 12 p.m. God damn it. 12 a.m., 1 a.m. It's late. There it is. I keep missing it. I keep messing it up. Let me see your scores. What scores did y'all give this thing? Jay Briscoe. Yeah, Jay Briscoe passed away in 2023. Thank you for that. Game Shot gives it a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, what is that, a B? That is a B. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Is Game Shock the only one that gave me his grade? Okay. Yeah, people are happy that Kris Statlander retained. That's cool. I popped with Swerve. I popped when Swerve came out, but I don't know how to feel about his new music though. He should have kept the old one. Mike Pringle says that AEW National belt looks very familiar. I wouldn't be shocked if NWA sent a letter to Tony Khan about copyright infringement, probably. I'm worried that Keith Lee can't wrestle no more. Raul Nogales, 7.5 out of 10. Ultra Shadow, this show is on par with All In Texas as the best AEW pay-per-view this year. Let's see if they can follow it up. That's always important. Yeah, you got it. PYXY gives it a 6 out of 10. Okay. You didn't like it as much. IBIXBO, looking forward to AEW Dynamite explaining the ops setting up Hangman and using Eddie. Wow. They did use Eddie. Keith Lee says he's 100% clear to wrestle. That's what I heard. That's what I heard too. I don't know why people are saying he's not cleared. That's weird. All right, y'all, it is late, so let me go ahead and get out of here. Thank you for watching my AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. Next Saturday is the big one, Survivor Series 2025. War Games. Excited about that show. That show is going to be massive. That show is going to be big. It's going to be big. It's going to be awesome. Because that's it. It's going to be big. Okay, it's going to be big. Yeah, so Survivor Series next week. There will be preview and predictions. Expect a Raw review. I don't know about a SmackDown review. We'll play that one by ear. But yeah, we're going to close out the year with one last big pay-per-view where the Super Chat World title will be on the line. So, thank you all so much. Do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and Venmo. I love you all, and I will catch you guys next time right here at Alex's World, the place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm out of here. Peace.
When you're when you're